Well, today I'd like to welcome Eddie Tamar, who is the artistic director of the Jewish Film Festival. And first up, welcome, Eddie. How are you?
Great, Caroline. Thanks for having me on and being interested.
Oh, very interested. I'm a big fan of, film festivals, and this one is gonna be a cracker, I think. You're kicking off in Melbourne on the 19th of October. And it's going to go nationally to the 21st of December. So there's a busy time here, leading up to Christmas. So yeah, this is exciting. And look, first up, I wanted to, ask you with, what was your guiding vision and philosophy in curating the festival this year? And what was the balance between the films? To program and, and sort of in putting them in the order and everything. So, programming is a big job.
Sure. So yeah, we ended up with 50 plus films from all over the world. It's an all year round job. We probably between my wife and I who watch all the films and are involved in the decision making, we probably watch about 300 films, I guess. So, a film a day keeps the doctor away.
Yep, I
Um,
agree.
and, uh, yeah, so we went to Cannes this year, went to Venice. We get stuff sent to us, and we just generally, I guess, hustle around for interesting things. And we've got a great Australian lineup this year as well.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Um, there's no thematics really. It's pretty. We've been running it for 13 years now, and whatever's good, whatever we think and good, I guess, is big and small. So there can be niche films, like the story of Tamara Dell'Empica, who is, a film in this year's program, an amazing artist, whose art is recognized today, even though her name may not be. That's a niche film, for art lovers, and not necessarily a wider audience. But if that niche audience is happy, we've done our job. And then obviously there's the big stuff as well. So we try to get a balance between appealing films, and again, obviously there's a core Jewish community audience, but because we are generally world Australian premieres with the 3 or 4 world premieres this year. There's a general cinephile community that GIF appeals to, and hopefully this year, they'll engage as well.
oh, fantastic. Well, you're opening up with, I think, what is a very good one. It's and it's a comedy, Bad Shababs. Can you tell us a little bit about that film?
Sure. And we need comedies in the world today, don't we?
Agree. Oh God, we need laughter. That's what keeps the doctor away.
That's it. So this is a very interesting film. It's an American independent, low budget film.
Yep.
It's the comedy sleeper hit in America this year. It's had no market budget, and it's taken 1.5 million. It's been running in cinemas for a year in America, and it's very excited to bring it. So it sets off in the normal kind of almost stereotypic tropes of a Friday night Jewish family dinner. And the parents invite their children and their children's partners and their partners' in-laws, and all that normal sort of comedic to and fro, which is familiar and
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
And then something happens, and somebody dies at the Sabbath table or in that Sabbath meal environment, and so it switches genre into a bit of a literally a genre film in amongst that familiar trope of the Sabbath table. So it stars Kyra Sedgwick, and interestingly enough, Australia's Ashley Zuckerman, who's a star in Succession, and he's in the film too. So it's a very interesting, eclectic film and really good fun.
Oh, love it. I love it. I think that's something I can't wait to see. And then you've got, you know, Eleanor the Great with, oh my God, June Squibb,
Yeah,
and obviously directed Charlotte
Scarlett.
Jonasson. Yeah. Have I haven't seen it. I've hearing a lot of noise about this film.
Yeah, so Sony Classics picked it up, and it's just on release literally this week in America,
Yeah.
and it's going very well. And June Squibb, who is 91,
Yes.
plays a 94-year-old Jewish woman who's best friends with another Jewish woman, and they live together for 12 years, and they're the best of friends and very close. And her friend dies, and it does something very interesting. It's like it's dealing with, you can be so close to someone and someone you really care about, and then
Mm,
you can all then start taking on their life story as if
mm,
it's your story because you're so connected to them. Quite a strange thing, but it deals with that phenomenon in a very well. It's got June Squibb's comedic, skills and energy, and but then it's got this very sweet, touching, moving element about what it's like to lose a friend, and with a particular twist.
yeah. Amazing. 91 years of age. And apparently she is sharp as anything on set.
Yep,
I hear. So yeah, that's I bet you that'll be a sellout, for sure.
we hope so.
Um, there you you mentioned that obviously there's a crossover of Australian content in this. There's there's a documentary that I believe was made in Melbourne.
Yes, we have. You're talking about Rising Voices of Protest and Hope.
I think it's that one. Yes.
So we have one that's made in Sydney and one that's made in Melbourne. I'll speak to both of them. So, yeah,
Okay.
Rising is Esther Takacha's new film. She's a psychotherapist. She did a film a couple of years ago, which did very well at GIF and around the world. It's called was called The Narrow Bridge,
Yep.
and again, I look for healing and any peacemaking within the Middle East conflict.
Mm,
And now making a new one. It's called Rising, and it's dealing with the whole the pro democracy protests in Israel pre October 7, and then moving into October 7 and beyond, and looking at some way to move towards a hopeful scenario, but in that very clearly difficult, challenging environment.
mm. Oh, wow. Again, they're very interesting. Obviously, how are the tickets going so far for Melbourne?
Well, all over, going well. Yeah, very
Yeah.
happy on track for a big GIF. So very excited. And the Sydney one's an interesting documentary. It's also a world premiere, as is Esther's, and it's about. I don't know if you're familiar with Tommy Tico, the name.
Yep,
So
I
Tommy
am.
Tico, a legend. He was called the Maestro by everyone
Yes.
involved. A Hungarian Holocaust survivor.
Yep.
He came to Australia, I think, in the early 50s
Yep.
as a composer and music maker and conductor. And he becomes the legend of live TV bands, doing
Yeah.
shows like The Main Show and many, many others.
Yep.
Uh, then credited with stuff like the composition of Advance Australia Fair that we sing the tune of today. So quite an interesting story, and all the musical variety performers speak so highly of him in the film, from Julie
Oh,
Anthony, Barry
yes.
Crocker, and a
Yeah.
whole and many many others. So really interesting bit of Australian history.
Oh my God, I'm going to put that on the list. Yeah, I sort of grew up with that name, and yeah, he was the master
Mm.
of orchestra. Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Is there any of your favorites in this? That, if you were to tick off five films, what would you say?
We love them all, but I'll tell you about a few other interesting ones.
Yep.
Um, well, we have a big documentary that is a late addition to the program, not in the printed program, and it's a film called The Road Between Us,
Yep.
um, and based on a book called The Gates to Gaza, and it is obviously based on the true story of a family, young couple with a couple of daughters that live in a kibbutz on the Gaza border, and they're invaded on October 7, locked into their shelter safety room, and surrounded by Hamas terrorists. And he makes a call to his father, who's a retired general who lives in Tel Aviv, and it's a story of his father coming from Tel Aviv and his mother, so both of them travel together through the most chaotic, wild environment in order to find a way to free their family. And
Wow.
that premiered. Well, it's been controversial, like many things these days in
Yeah.
the arts.
Yeah.
Uh, was invited to the Toronto Film Festival, then it was disinvited, then re-invited, and then it just won last week the award for the best documentary in Toronto.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm.
Okay,
Uh,
The Road Between Us. Okay.
um, is There's a very interesting another documentary. It's called To Be a Jew. Frank Lowy, in his own words, the ex CEO of Westfield, who is retired in Israel now. So it talks about his life, his work, and his Jewish identity. And that's a pretty fascinating story to tell. And one big French film, which was the French box office hit of the year in France this year, is called
Hmm.
Once Upon My, and it's based on a true story about a Moroccan Jewish French family living in Paris, and a sixth child is born to the family, and the child is born with a handicap, a club foot, and the mother takes him around to all the doctors of the day who come up with these cockamamie ideas on how to treat the child. She chucks all that out and says that's all garbage. And goes into tiger mum mode and says this kid's going to be normal. He's going to dance. He's going to play sport. So it
Oh,
covers that true life story of the mother and son over decades, and it's got the color and movement of Paris in the 60s, and it's very energetic and very moving, and one of our highly recommended films.
oh, another one to tick off. Excellent. Some good films there, Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very interesting. Well, I tell you what, I think with all the sort of, releases and do you think everyone's going back to cinema now?
Yeah,
Or is it film
absolutely.
festivals that are getting them in?
Oh, everything's getting him in. You look at Taylor Swift this weekend. The new
Yeah,
Taylor
well,
Swift cinemas are full this weekend, just on that. So And what's interesting is in the 20 and 30 something year olds, they're coming to the movies because of the neon A24 letterbox phenomenon. They're all the 20 and 30 somethings that everybody said would never come to cinemas because they have low attention spans. They just want to drink in pubs and listen to live music. They're all interested in film culture, and film is cool again, and they want to see the good old stuff. So retrospectives are doing very well in cinemas. So we're very hopeful, and we think the shared experience of cinema has, made cinema survive over the last 100 years of challenges, and we think it'll continue to die or live and evolve for the next 100 years.
oh, bravo. Well said. I love the cinema world. I just love going into the dark space with the big screen. So I'm with you. Let's make sure that we continue to champion the cinemas, for everybody to go to, and that's wonderful. Well, Eddie, thank you for chatting with us at Hush Hush Biz today, on your very insightful program for the festival, and congratulations on it, by the way, too.
Thanks for your support, and hopefully see you and all your listeners at the movies.
Absolutely. We'll see you there. Well, I'll see you on the Brisbane end.
Good on you. Thanks very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye bye.